Hey, welcome back to the podcast, the Evil Dungeon Masters AD&D Universe podcast. I am your host, Evil Dungeon Master Vince, and it is time for another podcast. Ask the DM at theevildm.com is my email address. Theevildm.com is my website. You can support me by going to patreon.com/theevildm if you want to throw a few bucks there, tip, whatever, it doesn't matter. You can go to youtube.com/theevildm if you want to follow me on YouTube or listen to this podcast on YouTube as well. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's talk a little bit about AD&D 1E. Today I was looking through some Polyhedron magazines. Like I said, I've had a collection of those. And I was looking through, and I like looking at different things that they discussed here that never really, I don't even know if this saw the light of the day or not. It may have. I don't really keep up with a lot of stuff, but this is a class that was by Gary Gygax. And Gary liked to tinker with and make classes all the time for AD&D. And a lot of them were, well, I want to say junk or not great. Some of them just didn't work, and they were just NPC like classes because they were just way too powerful, or maybe they were just way too weak and never really were meant for players. A lot of times he'll say they're not meant for players, they're NPCs. But Polyhedron number 23 from 1985, Gary had a class in here that I saw, and I don't recall ever seeing this or hearing anything really about it, and I may have, and whatever. It is called Ultimists. Ultimists. It's kind of a little bit of a tongue like ultimate Ultimists. So Gary goes on to say the various new classes I propose a year or so ago are okay, but the players in my campaign have really taken to the newest sort of adventurer, which developed out of my deep devotion to the powers of the lower planes. I call them Ultimists, or fighter, wizard, priests. So he gave us a combination class here of a fighter, a wizard, and a priest all rolled into one. Here is how the class developed and the stats so you can add them to your campaign. So he's telling you it worked for his group. His group really enjoyed it. So your group will probably enjoy it as well. So it gives a little history. Aeons ago, the mightiest of tri-class characters, I don't know how to say this, Polyphar Lofo, determined to create a band of invincible pawns to spread his power through the entire world. Thus, the Everdark Order of Ultimate Enforcers was created. High in the accessible mountains of Ramadan, a fortress-like monastery was constructed to house and train the new order of super adventurers. And at this point, it is a super adventure when we get into this, and you'll see why. By the scores came the vilest and most powerful of those who sought freedom through abuse and oppression. There, in the totally hidden recesses of the monastery's fastness, they bred like rabbits and thus developed a new subrace of virtual overmen. From this forsaken wilderness, thousands of leagues from anywhere, came the fighting wizard priests, ready to do battle with anyone or anything, certain of victory. That was his little background history that he gave us. So, creating an Ultimist character. Because of the resistance to the concept of rolling more than 4d6 and selecting the best 3, as expressed by enthusiasts when I prepared the barbarian class, use the standard system of generation stats for the Ultimist, but as these are super powerful beings, adjust the results as follows. So, if you roll your strength from 11 to 18, you look at this chart and you modify your strength based on the chart. So, if you have an 11, it becomes a 15, a 12, a 16, a 13, a 17, a 14, 18, 50, all the way up to 18 when you roll a d6, which you can get. 18/00 for 1, 2 to 3, you get 19, 4, 20, 5, 21, and 6, you get a 22 strength. Intelligence, add +4 to the die roll, no intelligence under 16 being possible. So you get a minimum of 16 regardless of what you roll. Okay. Wisdom, do the same thing as intelligence. So another 16 minimum. So you can get anywhere from what? 22 to a 16. 16 to 22 pretty much. Dexterity, similar chart, except when it goes to, let's see here, difference is, okay. So 13 becomes a 15, a 14 becomes a 16, a 15 becomes 17, 16, 18, 17, 19, 18, 20. Double all reaction and attacking and defensive adjustments. Constitution, same as strength. Look at the chart. Double all hit points adjusted as if a fighter. Charisma, same as strength. Comeliness, for males, add 2d4. No score under 18 possible. But for females, add 3d4. No score under 20 possible. Hit dice. Ultimist, being a cleric monk blend, use only d6, but in addition to constitution adjustments, they gain 1 hit point per die for each level of experience. So a first level ultimist has an additional hit points of +1 per hit die. A second ultimate has +2, and etc. etc. That's the goal. There is no limit to the number of level points that can be gained. Ultimist characters attack as fighters in melee combat because they are a superior race and always gain +1 to hit. So he's going back and forth here by calling this a class and a race at some points. All right. Ultimists work simultaneously in clerical, magic use, and monk professions. However, they gain levels as followed. And this is probably the easiest level chart to level up that I've probably seen for any character. Level 2, 1001. That's probably less than the thief, if I'm thinking offhand. Yeah. And there's a whole chart here that goes up to level 14 and it tells you how to do more. To get to level 14, you only need 55,001 experience points. That gives you an idea of how the chart looks. Starting equipment. In addition to the equipment normally obtained through purchase, Ultimates begin with 1 to 4,000 gold pieces, rolling 1d4. The order furnishes each of its fledglings with spell books listing all known spells, a bag of holding, 15,000 gold capacity, a special sword of life stealing, explained below. Each is also granted the cloak of displacement, a ring of protection +3, boots of speed, ring of featherfall, and a wand of his or her choice. But as these are only on loan from the order, they really don't count. Spell points. Points. Memorizing spells is tedious, and the selection requires reasoning and intelligence applied to the game. They are obviously not part of the Ultimist class. Instead, a simple spell point system is substituted. For each level obtained, the Ultimist gets 100 spell points. Each point is synonymously with a spell level. Therefore, a level first Ultimist can cast 100 first level spells per day, or 50 second level spells. Spell points regenerate daily, providing the character rests for at least 1 hour. Spell points are used for clerical, magic user, illusionist spells as at twice the normal level cost for illusionists. They can also be used at a rate of 1 for 1 to recharge the Sword of Life Stealing, provided that the only activity the Ultimist engaged in for that day. Casting spells above level normal for the Ultimist has a risk, however. The chance of the spell failure is based on the easy formula which follows: level spell minus level of Ultimist equals percent chance failure of the spell, which is even not that big of a deal if you think about it. If he's first level and he casts a 5th level spell, that's a 4% chance of failure. Ooh. Monk abilities. Ultimist monk abilities are as shown in the player's handbook. However, they gain the following additional powers with open hand combat. 4th level, treat right hand as a sword of sharpness. 8th level, treat right hand as a vorpal blade. My God. Thieving abilities. Note that the Ultimist does not require thieves' tools for opening locks as long as their fingernails are carefully shaped for use of a lock picks. I'm just going to let that sink in for a minute. Multiple functions. Ultimists are using 2 weapons at the same time, wear armor, and cast spells or perform as a monk or fight with a weapon in one hand and use monk's open-handed attacks in the other. These are, of course, only the bones of this existing and interesting new class. Next issue will tell you about how Pelfor Lomar dominates all the pantheons of deities, and more about his minions of Everdark Order of the Ultimate Enforcers. So if you want to follow up with the god of these creatures, god of these class, or whatever you want to call it, race, ultimate fighters, I don't know what it is, but wow. After reading all that, these things would definitely be not allowed in my campaign. I mean, these would be maybe a really good big bad that the party would have to face off against, but I'd have to not scale him too high because based on everything he has, he would wipe out probably a party. I mean, he's pretty deadly, especially when you get to even lower levels, he's pretty deadly. The ability to cast any spell by using the friggin' point system that he has a great amount of chance to just cast anything at whatever level. And the percent chance is really small. I mean, even if it's a 8th level spell and I made him first level, there's a 7% chance that it fails. So hands is Vorpal Blades at 8th level, or hand of Short of Sharpness at 4th level. You know, he's pretty badass. And I'm really kind of surprised at this character class. At that, I guess Gary's characters really enjoyed it at the table, as far as maybe they all played this class and they were running around just killing everything in the campaign. I honestly don't know. But it is something I found that I figured I'd share with y'all here on the podcast because it's part of the AD&D universe. And, Gary wrote this in 85. So he shared it in Polyhedron Magazine, which was a lot of good stuff have been shared in Polyhedron Magazine and never saw the light of day. I consider this some interesting stuff here. Tell me what you think about this class. I'll include this page of from Polyhedron Magazine as a screenshot on my website when I write up the blog post for this to share it around so you guys get to see what it looks like with the guy jumping through the air in full plate armor, it looks like, and kicking the orc, I guess, or goblin, or whatever the heck it is, in the face. It also looks like he threw maybe I guess it looks like a Chinese star or something into his forehead. It's the picture is hysterical. He also just, oh, I see. And he also used his hand of sharpness to chop through some other people. Yeah, okay. So anyway, tell me what you think of this class. How would you use it in your campaign? I'm interested to know. Don't forget to check out all my other things. Patreon.com/EvilDM. If you want to throw a few bucks there, that'd be great. Other than that, keep it original, keep it old school. Good night. God bless everybody.